Okay, thanks for signing in today. This is the Workbench Session 2 for Merchandise and Duns List reports. We did ask for you to select which businesses you support. It looks like we have someone from Jory and 2 others. I know one of them is Pets. So that's just helpful to Stephanie as we go through the reports to help her know which businesses that you'll be running reports for. And while that's loading, like I said, this is the second session. Last month we had the first session for Flash reports, and then next month we will be having a session for Report Builder if you have the paid version of Workbench. After that, the sessions will start over. I am recording today's session, and then I will be posting that on our YouTube, and I will send out the link for the video and the PowerPoint. Also, you will see, it's not here right now, but later in the presentation you will see a files pod, and the PowerPoint will be able to be downloaded from that pod directly during the presentation. So some quick webinar etiquette. If you could please put yourself in Do Not Disturb status on all messaging apps like Link or Skype, and close all email applications until the session is over. This just ensures that you're getting the most that you can out of this session. I have muted all participants at this point. Please use the chat pod to ask any questions, and we will re-enter interactive talk mode at the end of the session for any final questions. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. This is a little bit about me. I'm Stephanie Noswick. I am the... Can you guys hear me? Raise your hand.
Maybe she's having some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. Like I said, this is the first time we're using Adobe Connect live. We've run through this several times, but so there's a few hookups. We'll give her a second to try to sort out the audio. Oh, I know why. Give me 1 second. This is my fault because I muted everybody. So I will be opening up the audio. So give me 1 second.
All participants are now in interactive talk mode.
Stephanie, are you there?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, so sorry about that. That was apparently we can't do listen only mode. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry about that.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So this is a little bit about me. I'm Stephanie Noswick. I am the BU trainer for inventory and you guys vendors. I was formerly in inventory. I was an inventory and then a senior inventory analyst for 3 years, and I supported Kmart businesses. I supported Infant Hardlines and Kids World Seasonal Basics. I used SHC Merchant Workbench during that time to illustrate sales performance, manage inventory levels, track orders, and help out with some special store projects. I would be in constant communication with my vendors using these SHC Merchant Workbench reporting. So at the end of this training, you will be able to identify what information is provided in the DUNS list and the merchandise list reports. You will also be able to run these reports, and we're going to demonstrate how to do that today. So if you guys can see, there's a poll on the side that's asking whether you have run any of these reports. Which of the reports have you run before? And I'll give you guys a chance to answer. So it looks like nobody has run either of these 2 reports. So that's kind of exciting. So you're going to get the best bang for your buck out of this class then today. Before we jump into these two reports, let's talk a little bit about the data availability. So there's different data types that are available in SHC Merchant Workbench. Receipt information will go back 2 years by KSN and 18 months by purchase order. Sales information goes back 2 years. Inventory information goes back 2 years for fiscal week and 35 days if you're pulling daily. Order tracking will go back 15 months. Accounts payable is a rolling 12 months. It's important to note that it can take up to 2 days for data changes to reflect in Workbench. So what do I mean by data changes? Things like maybe there was a return at the store, their inventory was shored up at the end of the night, but in the reporting it might take up to 2 days for that change to take effect and be visible for us. Also, a special note for any Sears vendors, sales and inventory are not available for you in Workbench. You could request SDP access and not full access, but your sales and inventory information is available in the Sears Sales Alex reports. You can send an email to vendors at searshc.com for access, and then you can also check out that webinar and join us for the Sears Sales Alex reports. So let's take a preview at the information that we are going to pull in the DUNS list. So the DUNS list report is an informational report. You can use this report to determine pay, order, and ship DUNS numbers that are assigned to your company by division and flow path. If you ship to both Sears and Kmart stores, your Sears order DUNS will be displayed as a 10-digit number beginning with a 1. If you are in EDI, you must use an 11-digit number. So generally, there will be leading zeros added as necessary. We're going to take a moment in a second to demo how to navigate to this report, but the menu location for your reference is Information, Vendor, and DUNS List. And here's a preview of what we're about to pull. I would encourage you guys, when we are going into the demo, to pull your information. The reason that we're showing up front what the DUNS list looks like is because we really don't want to share anything that everybody else shouldn't know about a particular vendor. But you can see that for each DUNS number, you'll see vendor name, address, city, state, and zip. And the DUNSs are organized across the screen in sections. First, you'll see the pay DUNS information, then your order DUNS information, and then your ship DUNS information. So now we're going to begin the demo. Okay, so everybody should be really familiar with the vendor portal. I would encourage you to open up the vendor portal in Internet Explorer and follow along. It must be Internet Explorer. If you are trying to run reports in Workbench in Chrome, you'll see some crazy looking navigation. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my enterprise ID and password. So once we've logged in, you can see the Kmart and Sears applications on the left-hand side when we scroll down. Right under allocation/inform system is a link to SHC Merchant Workbench, and you guys can go ahead and click on that link to navigate to Workbench. Once you've clicked on that link, you should see something that looks like this. This is just the homepage for SHC Merchant Workbench. Sometimes there will be a message displayed under the Kmart and Sears logo if there's something going on. Maybe there's a system update of some kind. That message would be displayed there. So, like I said earlier, we're going to navigate to the DUNS list. So, under Standard Business Process, in the left-hand corner navigation bar, we're going to click on Information. Now you can see a bunch of different reporting options kind of exploded out. So now from here, we're going to go to Vendor and DUNS list. Now we've got this report prompt screen. You can see that you need to enter a little bit of info. You can select a division. I would select the division that you are responsible for. You could also enter vendor name, or if you had one of these DUNS numbers that you knew you had, maybe your order DUNS, you could enter it by typing in the text box and clicking Add, or you could load a CSV file. And the same goes for the pay DUNS or the ship DUNS. It would be the same process. I'm not going to load a DUNS, so I click Delete. I'm actually going to pull using the division option. Now you can see down at the bottom, Return As. I'm going to select Open in Excel, and I would encourage you guys to do so as well, just so you can see what it looks like with the SHC Workbench formatting. This is how you would get it to open in Excel, but you would see very similar formatting to how it would load when you click Standard Report. So I've got a question. Do you have different DUNS for order, pay, and ship? So there's a number for the order DUNS, there's a number for the ship DUNS, there's a number for the pay DUNS. So those are all different numbers, but each vendor would have their own sets. And the DUNS numbers that relate to order DUNS is how when people write orders to you, how the orders would be able to generate and apply to your vendor. And then pay DUNS is how you guys get paid. Ship DUNS is actually just a number that's tied to where you are shipping goods to us. So where your warehouse is, where it's coming from. Does that help? That's okay if you only have one DUNS. Do you only have one order DUNS, or are you only seeing one DUNS that's like just one DUNS is being represented? And if you are a brand new vendor, you might not see everything because you might still be getting set up. But this is a good place for you to be checking to make sure that your DUNSs are being set up. So I would kind of check back in, maybe follow up with vendor setup. But this is one good way to see, okay, has my order DUNS been set up? Do I have pay DUNS? Do I have ship DUNS? So once you're happy with the selections you've made in this report prompt section, you can go ahead and click Submit in the upper right-hand corner under Health and next to Clear. So once you submit, and it might take, usually this tool is pretty quick, but it might take a minute or two for your report to open in Excel. This is something that you should be seeing. We've got our vendor names here kind of blocked off so that you guys don't see every single vendor's name. But like I was saying before, you see this is the pay DUNS area. with all of the information attached, the order dones, and then here's the ship dones. Is everybody getting their reports to pull back? I've got one yes so far, that's good. Awesome. Yes, but no data, okay. So I would definitely keep checking in to make sure that your data is going to eventually show up after you've completed setup. So some things, are there any questions about that DUNS list? Anything that you're seeing that doesn't make sense in your own report? All right, cool. So the next report that we're going to talk about is the merchandise list. This is a really useful one. You can use this to make sure that information has been properly added to the item maintenance application. So you're trying to use this report to make sure that your items have been set up correctly. Key fields that you would use to validate your item setup would include the hierarchy information for that item. So what division, what category, and what subcategory, the cost, order DUNS number, so that when we order, the orders generate correctly, vendor stock number, your shipping G10. So you definitely want to make sure that the shipping G10 is the correct number, as well as the total eaches. You want to make sure that the packing configuration is set up in the way that you guys are actually going to be shipping the product to us. So here's a little menu location. So if you guys are in your screens and working ahead a little bit, you would navigate to information, item hierarchy, and merch list. And that's where we're going to be going in a moment. So here's a preview of what we're going to pull. This is the merchandise list. This is what it would look like in the actual screen, so the standard report screen. There are a number of different fields represented here, and we'll dive into these in just a second. So to navigate to that report, we are no longer going to be in this DUNS list here. We're actually going to go to information, item hierarchy, and then merch list. So this report prompt screen looks a little bit different. There's a little bit more information that's required for the report to run. Up here under report column selection, these are the items that are actually going to be returned on our report. Everything that is highlighted in blue. Things that are highlighted in white are not going to come back on the report. So if you would like to see your sub-season code, hold Control down and click. You can do the same for retail G10. Maybe you don't want to see, maybe I don't want to see my business department. Again, just hold down Control and click. So then you need to make the hierarchy restrictions. The more detailed you go into the hierarchy, the faster the report runs, just because it's not pulling quite as much information. So I made a selection of 4 for toys and hobbies. Then I'm going to select dolls, and I'm going to leave the subcategory alone. I'm going to pull back all of the category for large dolls under the division toys and hobbies. I would encourage you guys to pull your hierarchy so you can see your items. Maybe you have a particular KSN or a particular list of KSNs, retail GTINs, items, DCKSN pack IDs, reporting IDs that you would like to load that you know which KSNs you want. You can go ahead and you could add them using the little text box and then clicking add, or you could load a CSV file. So you could make a couple other different selections. You could load order DUNS numbers. But once you're happy with the way that you've entered this data, you could go ahead and click Submit in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And again, because I don't want to share confidential stuff with you guys, I've got the report pulled from that report screen by clicking the Excel button in the upper left. And here's what this report looks like without any of that SHC Workbench formatting. We've got a lot of great info here. We've got all of the hierarchy information, the descriptions. You can see that I've got cost and price blacked out there. You can see the status of the vendor packs and KSNs. So U is unavailable, A is available. You can see how it's set up to reorder, the item IDs, any can carry numbers attached to them, as well as store counts. So now I'm going to have a little knowledge check. So if you guys can see that poll, pick your answer for. You can view all of the DUNS assigned to your company by running which report. I see some folks are typing in the chat. If you guys want to take the poll, I see only one person has answered the poll. The poll is in the box that's right above the chat screen. All right. So you guys can see the results. And the answer, the big reveal, it is the DUNS list. Thought you were done, but there's another one. Which report can be used to validate key item setup fields like hierarchy and cost? And again, please submit your answer using the poll. And you guys got it right. It is the merchandise list report. Good job. So maybe you're running all of these reports and you're getting stuck, something isn't working, or you're just confused about something that you're seeing. Maybe you don't know what one of the terms or abbreviations mean. I would recommend navigating to help. You can navigate to help on the left-hand side of the navigation bar, and then click help and then help again. It will open a separate online help window where you can find step-by-step instructions, sample reports that are hot-spotted, metrics, definitions, and lots of helpful hints for using this tool. So if you're trying to get familiar with Workbench, my first stop would be that online help. If you are experiencing setup issues where you know that you should be able to see some type of item or some category and it's not showing for you, please contact vendor support at vendors@searshc.com. But if you have specific report questions that you can't find answers to in that online help tool, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is stephanie.noswick@searshc.com. Regardless of who you're contacting for help, in the body of your email, please do include the vendor pay DUNS number when it applies to that situation, a description of the issue, the report name, any criteria selections that you've made, and that last bullet point is the most helpful one, the screen prints that might apply. A lot of times, if I can see what you're seeing, it speeds up the process and we can get your report that you need a lot quicker. So what are your questions for today? In the merchandise list report, unable to open the information in Excel. You were able to generate the report and you're seeing it in your browser? When you're looking at the report, does it show you in the upper left-hand corner? There should be a word Excel that you can click on that it's a button that gets highlighted in gray. There you go, Mona, yep. You press that button and there's nothing there? Yes, it might be that it's a pop-up blocker that's preventing your report from downloading. Another thing, if Workbench is misbehaving and I am having issues exporting for whatever reason, another really easy way to grab this data into Excel is just to use your cursor to highlight it and then paste it. You can highlight the data, Control C to copy, and then paste it into an Excel file. problem.
Any other questions? Looks like Emmanuel is typing, so we'll give him a second. The audio is open also if you do want to audibly ask questions. Okay. All right, so it sounds like everyone is good. We'll stay on the line for a few more minutes, but otherwise I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that you found this helpful. Have a great day, everybody.